There is a cannon buried in the nose of one American aircraft that, every single time the pilot squeezes the trigger, shoves the entire plane backward harder than one of its own jet engines pushes it forward. The aircraft physically slows down in midair. And, for years, the engineers who built it lay awake, terrified that it might do something far worse than that. But here is the detail almost nobody tells you. This airplane was never designed to carry a gun. The gun was designed first. The wings, the cockpit, the twin engines bolted high on the tail, all of it was wrapped around the weapon afterward, like a body grown around a beating heart. The A-10 Warthog is not an aircraft that happens to carry a cannon. It is a cannon that happens to fly. And that single backward decision created a myth so stubborn that half a century later, people still repeat it as gospel. While the Pentagon spent those same 50 years trying and failing to kill the thing. This is the story of the GAU-8 Avenger. And to understand it, you have to throw out everything you assume about how a warplane is built. In November 1970, the United States Air Force did something completely backward. Before it had chosen an aircraft, before a single prototype had ever left the runway, it went shopping for a gun. Not just any gun, a 30mm rotary cannon powerful enough to crack open a Soviet tank from the sky. General Electric and Philco Ford were each handed a contract to compete, and the weapon was given a name long before it had an airframe to live inside. The GAU-8. The aircraft came second. The program that produced the A-10 was shaped, from the start, around the dimensions, weight, and savage recoil of a gun that did not fully exist yet. The prototypes leaned on it so heavily that when the real Avenger wasn't ready for early testing, engineers bolted in a smaller cannon as a stand-in just to keep the jets flying. Sit with what that actually means. Almost every warplane in history was designed first and armed second. The A-10 was armed first and designed second. The finished gun system stretches nearly 20 feet from muzzle to tail, close to 6 meters, and tips the scales at over 4,000 pounds when fully loaded. That is roughly 16% of the entire aircraft's empty weight. 1/6 of the plane before you add a single drop of fuel, one bomb, or even the pilot, is pure gun. But the weight was not even the part that scared them. The part that scared them was what happened the instant a pilot actually pulled the trigger. The Avenger has 7 barrels that spin together as a single unit, each one firing in turn so fast the eye can't separate them. On the A-10, the rate is locked at 3,900 rounds per minute. Slow that figure down and it means 65 rounds leave the aircraft every second. In the half second it takes you to blink, more than 30 shells the size of glass bottles are already gone. Each round leaves the muzzle at over 1,000 meters per second, past 3 times the speed of sound. Pilots never hold the trigger long. They fire in bursts of 1 or 2 seconds, because that is all it takes. A 2-second burst from a mile out throws roughly 100 rounds into the target zone, and tests showed 80% landing within 20 feet of the aim point. Feeding that monster is a drum sitting behind the cockpit packed with 1,174 rounds. The feed system is linkless, which means the spent casings are not dumped overboard. They are cycled straight back into the drum. That wasn't a tidiness decision. An empty 30mm shell sucked into one of the A-10's engines could tear it apart, so the gun was deliberately built to swallow its own garbage rather than risk feeding it to the turbines. And that detail leads directly into the single most repeated fact about this aircraft, the one that is almost completely false. You have almost certainly heard it. Fire the GAU-8 for too long, the legend goes, and the recoil is so violent it stops the A-10 dead in the air, that the plane stalls, drops, even begins sliding backward across the sky. It gets repeated in bars, in comment sections, and in documentaries that really should know better. Here is the truth. The recoil is real, and it is colossal, around 10,000 pounds of force. Each of the A-10's 2 engines produces roughly 9,000 pounds of thrust. So yes, the gun genuinely pushes back harder than a single engine pushes forward, and the aircraft does measurably slow down during a firing pass. Pilots feel the deceleration, instruments record it, but it cannot stop the plane. The "it flies backward" story is the most successful piece of propaganda the Air Force never actually wrote, because even if the gun could somehow fire forever, the jet would simply settle into a slower speed where thrust, drag, and recoil all cancel out. It would keep flying. There was, however, a genuine danger hiding beneath the myth, and it was far quieter. The gas the Avenger belches out is almost entirely oxygen-free, and gas like that, swallowed by a jet engine, can snuff its flame out completely. So engineers wired in a system that automatically relights the engines the moment the gun fires. The scary story was fiction. The real threat could have dropped the plane out of the sky in total silence. What turns the Avenger into a tank killer isn't only speed, it's what comes screaming out of the barrel. The gun fires a deliberate combat mix of 2 rounds. One is a high-explosive incendiary shell built for trucks and lightly armored vehicles. The other is the round that earned the Warthog its terrifying reputation. An armor-piercing shell built around a penetrator of depleted uranium, one of the densest materials on the planet. Each of those penetrators carries more than half a pound of uranium, and it kills through pure, brutal physics. The dense metal slug punches clean through armor, and as it tears through, it sheds fragments that ignite on contact with air. So the round doesn't merely hole a tank, it sets it ablaze from the inside. A single 2-second burst can rain 65 pounds of uranium onto a target a mile away, which is exactly how a slow, ugly, unglamorous aircraft became the most feared tank hunter of the entire Gulf War. It is also why the gun is politically radioactive in a second sense. Depleted uranium has been argued over for decades, tangled in disputes over battlefield contamination and long-term health effects that were never cleanly resolved. On the battlefield, though, its effect was never in doubt. If the GAU-8 is this devastating, an obvious question hangs in the air. Why not just bolt it onto a faster, more modern jet and finally retire the slow old Warthog? They tried exactly that. The same gun was repackaged into a pod and slung under F-16s. It failed badly. The mounting flexed, the airframe shook with every burst, the jet flew too fast to aim, and the idea was quietly buried. The gun that was lethal on the A-10 was nearly useless strapped to anything else. The reason is the same truth we started with. You cannot simply add this gun to an aircraft because the gun was never the accessory. The aircraft was. The A-10's straight wings, its low and patient speed, the armored bathtub wrapped around the pilot, even the nose wheel shoved off to one side to clear room for the barrels, every part of it exists to serve the cannon. Rip the gun out and bolt it somewhere else and you don't get a better A-10. You get a worse everything. And that is the final irony. For nearly 50 years, the Air Force has tried to retire the A-10, to push the budget toward faster, stealthier, more fashionable jets. The plane survived cull after cull, not because the generals adored it, but because of the one thing no replacement could match. The Avenger didn't outlive its critics because it was beautiful. It survived because half a century of engineering has never built anything that can do what a 6-meter cannon does for about $65 a round. Find a tank and destroy it, with a human pilot's own eyes, in the kind of weather that blinds every guided weapon we've fielded since. The Air Force keeps drafting the ending. And yet, the gun that arrived before the airplane is somehow still here. And it may quietly outlast every official who ever signed its retirement papers. If this changed the way you see that ugly silhouette, then you need the next chapter of the story. The jet that was supposed to replace the Warthog, and why that plan fell apart so badly. That one is coming. Stay locked in.